obviously we've got the new engine regs prompted the Audi announcement.
Yeah.
Half electric, half internal combustion, fully sustainable.
Yeah.
How you feeling? Are you feeling excited about that? You got your eco?
Zero. Yes. My eco hat on. My green hat.
He's all green.
I'm all green. I'm wearing blue. There's a shade
Blue
of
like
green
the
in
sea,
it.
mate.
There's
The ocean.
Blue like the sea, mate.
Save the ocean.
Save the ocean. Save the sky.
No, but what do you make of it? Because I think most people are happy, but obviously there is some people are like, oh yeah, but like, what does it matter changing what fuel the engines run on? Like, why is that important when there's all this other stuff going on? What do you make of it?
I think, there is part of me is kind of like, obviously it's going to be hugely helpful, and having like completely sustainable fuel is not only just like a big step for Formula One, but actually just a big step generally for us all, like realistically, if that's technology that can be harnessed for our road cars and stuff. But like you said,
sorry, my man needs a water. Go on, get it down, your son. It was a podcast. It's fine.
I'm flowing. Yeah. It's easy to be. Like it's kind of like I said, there's, or like you said, even there's other topics that need to be tackled. If I'm still driving a massive truck that's going 0.6 gallons per,
exactly.
what's the phrase? I don't drive cars. Miles to the gallon.
You don't drive cars?
No, I don't. I can't drive. I ain't got.
How can you do that?
I ain't got a license, bro. No, I don't. Yeah, that's a bit. I'm 25. I'm big 25 now, and I can't actually drive a car.
There you go. Yeah, miles per gallon. You're right.
Miles per gallon.
Yeah, that's it.
Why is it gallon? That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
is there anything else that uses gallon in the world?
Yeah, but in the UK, we can't make our mind up. We use centimetres, we use kilometres, we use miles, we use
gallon is probably the worst thing. That sounds terrible. That is one of the worst. That's definitely the worst metric ever.
Kilometres per gallon. Make it a thing.
Per centilitre.
Let's do it. No, but you're right. Like, there's all these other things that come into, but F1's always been a huge part of F1 has been about leading technological advancements, usually in the automotive industry, but also in applications that go beyond automotive. I don't know, you will never be able to calculate it, but you could make an argument that F1, the technology that's been developed in F1, the good that has done has offset all of the damage of moving it around. I'm not saying this is true. I'm just saying you could make that argument that it's given back more. I don't think it has, but you could make that argument that it's given back at least something, right?
Yeah.
In terms of developing hybrid powertrains. If they weren't developed by F1, then we wouldn't be using hybrids in our, road cars as quickly as we have been. So I think having, a huge electrical component is, look, if you want to keep an ICE, then you have to have a big hybrid component for it to be relevant going forward.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think it's really exciting. Like, they're talking about carbon capture, which I think's sick, because carbon capture is like the answer. Because you just like all this carbon in the atmosphere, you just
nab that. Yep. Cheers, mate.
Stick it in the car.
Slap that in an Alpine. There we go. Boom.
You know what I mean? Like, I just think I think it's really exciting from that point of view. That's always been a big part of Formula One. And I think it has to be to get, and the fact that a brand like Audi and the VW group at large have seen what F1 are proposing and been like, yeah, we're going to rubber stamp that. I think that's a huge, that's a huge tick for F1 moving forward. So I think it's really important.
No, 1,000%. These big brands being interested in seeing like the future of Formula One and being ready to invest in it like that from an ecological standpoint.
But more in the short term as well, in terms of changes to the sport. There has also been, we've seen what's happening for next year, raising ride heights slightly. Did you see Christian Horner's quote?
I didn't know, actually.
So he basically, so the ride heights, I think, being raised from like 15 to 25 mil, I think, in a reduction of porpoising effort. And because Christian's been moaning about it for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And then he was it's going to happen. And he was like, don't worry, Jerry always tells me that size doesn't matter, so just losing 10 mil. I'm like, bro, people lambasted me for calling him Horny Horner.
Horny Horner, he's moving a bit mad. That picture of him, by the way, where he's like,
this is what I mean. He's got a track record.
We can't put that on the show.
Why not?
Well, maybe we can. Actually, no, we can.
Yeah, we can put that on the show.
Yeah,
why
easy,
not?
Man. Slap it on. Don't get any good ideas.
Don't slap it on. But look, so obviously Red Bull weren't too happy. Our car's fine, so why change? Obviously they're going to say that. But ultimately, do you think it was the right choice for the FIA to intervene, I guess?
Yeah, I think so, because it's difficult, isn't it? Because you in an ideal world, you want to leave the teams to just their own devices and how they're going to fix it. But some of the porpoising that we've been seeing during the course of this season has been like
a yoke,
like absolute a yoke, a yoke. The whole leg. It's been crazy. People bouncing around. We was in Canada, I think, and Spain, obviously as well. Spain won Catalonia.
Baku Lewis as well.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was
ridiculous. Of course he got out and he couldn't even walk.
Yeah, and Ricardo as well. Ricardo was really struggling. Carlos.
Yeah, man. I know what backache's like, man. I'm 25 now.
I've got a slip disc, mate.
Slip disc. My hip is gone. I'm pretty sure, mate. Give me a Zimmer frame and it'll help me, honestly. But yeah, no, I think it's a good thing again. Cause, I think it's helping out the drivers, to be honest with you, because if the teams can't do it, then the sport itself has to intervene.
Yeah, because I don't think you can rely on the teams to not. Like, even the drivers themselves have said it, like, if I have to take a bit of discomfort for performance, they'll take it.
This is the thing. So the teams aren't going to do it of their own devices, are they? It literally relies on the FIA to do it.
Exactly. So I think given that mindset, which you have to expect, and you want, ultimately, you want the drivers to be able to, like they're top tier athletes. At the end of the day, you don't get to where you are without some, but you shouldn't have to tolerate having your spine ruptured.
Yeah,
like that shouldn't be a thing. So I think ultimately it was a good choice for them to intervene, but I guess we'll see next year, because obviously, I think we've got to the stage of the season now, mate, where the title was pretty wrapped up, right?
We're done.
There's maybe a constructors P2 for Mercedes if Ferrari throw it, and
it's me wrapping up the title.
It's finished, mate. But what do you think, like, for next year? Obviously, we've had new regulations, first season. It's always going to, we're going to get, another year of, the cost cap, sliding development scale as well is a thing. So Red Bull and Ferrari will be kind of punished relative to whoever's at the back.
Yeah.
What are your expectations going into next year, given what you've seen so far of these, like, more, I guess, of the regulations,
Well, to be honest, I like where the regulations have taken us in terms of racing. It's still not perfect, and you're always going to get dirty air. Obviously, this is the sport that we,
that's racing.
But that's racing.
That's racing.
So you're always going to get that, but the reality is, it's definitely brought an easier element of overtaking and following people. I think we've definitely seen drivers be able to follow each other to at least a closer degree. You still get DRS trains. You still get trains, generally speaking. But at least there's a bit more hope of overtaking, I feel, at this point. I think what I would hope for next season, and what I would expect, is Mercedes to improve and move themselves back towards Ferrari and Red Bull. What I would hope is just generally get a bit of like an accordion effect of, like, sort of.
That's the dream.
That is the dream.
You want at least,
they're putting into place the motions.
Yeah, I think at least 3 cars battling for the title, because we've had it in the past. We've had it in the past. I mean, you look at 2010. You had Lewis in the McLaren, you had Vettel and Webber in the Red Bull, and you had Alonso in the Ferrari, all within a chance of winning the title in the last race. So as much as that race was really boring, because I watched it back recently.
Oh God, it was terrible. Shouts out Petrol.
Mate, what a drive that was. The driver of the day that day, for sure, I think. I think we can get to that stage. And, I think given the investment in McLaren, the potential upside of Aston Martin as well, I just want to see at least 3 cars battling at the front. Like, you're not going to get a complete spread, and that's kind of okay. Like, that's just sport. Not everyone's going to nail it. You can't, otherwise let's just make it a spec series. You know what I mean? I want there to be that creative, but I think as well there's enough in the regulations, hopefully. I've spoken to some people on the inside who don't believe in the cost cap and don't think it's going to do what it's meant to do, because teams will always find ways to kind of circumvent it to an extent, but I think I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic.
I'm cautiously optimistic as well. At least that we get a closer field spread, I think, than anything else.
That's the aim.
Williams, it's up to you, please.
Please.
For the love of God, lad.
Please deliver some.
Just give us something.
Please just be more like your logo.
Maybe make Latifi a test driver as well, potentially.